A week before Thanksgiving, Mom comes home from work in a great mood. Niños, want to go to Fantastic Time Machine? Our favorite restaurant is Fantastic Time Machine, but we usually only go for special occasions. Is it somebody's birthday? Asked Nick. No, it's just a good day at work. It can be our unbirthday party if you want. Mom raises her eyebrows up and down. I jump and clap while Nick just shrugs his shoulders yes. Can I invite Jenny, I ask? She gives me the thumbs up and says, and Nick, you can invite Jason if you want. I like Jason. He's the nicest of all my brother's friends. They usually talk about comics and go for bike rides. I hug Mom around the waist and ask, can Jenny sleep over too? Of course! I run to my room to call Jenny. It's going to be the best unbirthday ever. We leave to pick up Jenny and Jason on the way to the Fantastic Time Machine and stop at Jenny's first. Her mom answers the door dressed in a uniform. Jenny's mom is about to go work the night shift at a computer company. She also does beauty treatments in a salon during the day, when she's not too tired. Miss Lee is strong like my mom. She takes care of Jenny all by herself too. Hi, Stella, says Jenny's mom. Hi, Miss Lee. I'm almost ready, I hear Jenny yelling from the other room. Jenny told me once that when her parents were first divorced, she had to share a bed with her mom. That's when she was living in a much smaller apartment. Jenny never let me see that place. I think she was embarrassed. I've never met her dad either, and Jenny never talks about him. Jenny has met my dad, though. He took us to sushi last year. Thanks to Jenny, I already knew how to use chopsticks. The sushi was tasty except for the wasabi, which I thought was avocado. I put the whole thing in my mouth while Dad was talking to the waitress. That was a bad idea. It turns out wasabi is not avocado, and it is very spicy. I had to drink a whole glass of water and eat a bowl of rice before my eyes stopped watering. Not to mention, I had a runny nose for the rest of the night. The sushi was also really expensive, more than Mom ever spends on dinner. I'm not really sure why. It looks like they didn't really have to cook it. Okay, ready, Jenny shouts, running to the front door. Jenny's mom speaks Vietnamese to Jenny, and Jenny disappears again. I can't understand anything they are saying to each other, and I wonder if that's how it sounds when I speak Spanish with Mom in front of Jenny. Jenny reappears with a plate covered with foil. Here, egg rolls, says Miss Lee. I beam. I'm the only friend who gets egg rolls to take home from Jenny's mom. Thanks, Miss Lee. They're always so delicious. She pats my shoulder. Bye, Stella. I happily carry the egg rolls as we walk back to the car. Now, Fantastic Time Machine looks like nothing from the outside, but it is amazing on the inside. There is red velvet everywhere with neon signs. Even the salad bar is neat because it's inside a red 1950s car. The coolest part is that all the waiters dress up in costumes as famous people and characters. They definitely stand out, while all the customers sort of blend in. In our section, there is an Elvis, at least 2 different Batmans, a Cinderella, and many more. My personal favorite is Einstein. The guy playing Einstein is young, but he's wearing a crazy white wig and a mustache and has beakers attached to his lab coat. Do you know what E equals, he asked me. MC squared, I say. Indeed, E also equals excellent. Jenny whispers, you should be talking to Cinderella. She's glamorous. I roll my eyes. Jenny likes everything that is girly. Nick and Jason like talking to the Batmans. They argue over which Batman is better. Even Mom talks to Elvis for a little bit. I order spaghetti and meatballs. It's good, but not as good as Mom's spaghetti. It's probably because they don't know about adding the extra sabor like Mom does. It doesn't matter though, because we're having too much fun. After dinner, we go dancing upstairs. I typically don't like dancing away from home, but it's dark with really fun lights, so it's easy to blend in. There are a bunch of kids dancing too. I don't know any of them, so I don't care. We all drink Shirley Temple's, which sounds like a grown-up drink. It's just pink soda with a cherry. In our group, it's Mom, Jenny, and me dancing, although I do get Nick to dance with me for a second. After a while, Mom starts to look tired and says, whew, long day at work, girls. Keep dancing. I'll check in on the boys. She sits down next to Jason and Nick, who are playing arcade games. While Jenny and I are alone, we get pretty silly. Jenny and I start making up crazy dance moves. I'm doing the monkey, says Jenny, while swinging her arms around. I'm doing the shark, I say, then put my hands together over my head. I'm doing the chicken, says Jenny, flapping her arms. I'm doing the stingray, I say, and then spread my arms out. We giggle. We keep dancing until I hear, "Hey, look, it's Stella Diaz." It's Jessica. Next to her is her friend Bridget, who is in Jenny's class. I stop dancing, and Jessica giggles. Nice moves. Bridget adds, for someone who can't talk. I turn roja while Jenny pulls me away. Come on, Stella. It's gotten super boring here. Jessica shouts, good thing you've got your translator. I'm slouching as Jenny and I leave the dance floor. I can still hear Jessica and Bridget laughing. We walk over to Mom. Nick is explaining to her the new comic while he is reading, while playing a race car game with Jason. Mom looks up at me. Everything okay, Stella? She asks, concerned. Yep, just tired. I pretend to yawn, stretching my arms way above my head. Sometimes I can be a pretty good actress. No problema. After Nick finishes his game, nos vamos. She grabs her keys out of her purse. As we're leaving, Jenny whispers, why didn't you tell your mom? I shrug, pretending that it didn't really bother me. We were all having fun, right? I say, lying through my teeth. I hate it when kids make fun of me, but I don't want Mom to know. It's sort of embarrassing, and I don't want her to worry. Mom already spent all this money to take us to the Fantastic Time Machine. I don't want to ruin her night. When we get home, I persuade Nick to set up the tent in the backyard. He agrees only because Jason says he'll help. That, and it's not too cold outside. Nick and I have set it up once before when we pretended we were mountain people in our backyard. We only ate jerky and berries because I remembered reading that in the Little House in the Big Woods book. This time it's very different. Jenny decides that we should try to make it even more like a house, so we bring out the air mattress and pillows. Jenny wants to bring Pancho too, but I don't want him to get cold. He's a tropical fish after all. This is much better than regular camping, she says. Best of all, we can run into our house to use the bathroom, I say, and grab more nail polish. I nod my head. I'm not good at painting my nails, but Jenny likes doing it and always makes our nails look pretty. I need to practice because I'd like to be able to paint little cat and fish designs for us. Jenny falls asleep before I do. I lie awake wishing I didn't have to go back to school on Monday. Then I come up with a better wish. I wish for a fantastic time machine so that I could travel. I'll travel back to earlier this night and tell Jessica off. First, I just have to come up with the perfect comeback. I think and think, but nothing comes to mind. Maybe I do just stare, and maybe I do need Jenny to talk for me. So I decide I'd still travel back to earlier tonight, except I'd tell Jessica's parents to stay home instead of going out. That would work too. Chapter 9. This year, my relatives from Mexico City come to visit for Thanksgiving. Even though we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Mexico, my family still likes to visit then. Actually, I think they're kind of obsessed with it. Mom uses all the recipes from Betty Crocker, the most American cookbook, for our Thanksgiving meal, and my relatives get real excited about it. American food is exotic to them. Still, our dinner is not just American food. Mom makes a couple of special Latin dishes like picadillo and elote. She also likes to have some of my relatives' favorite foods as snacks while they're here, like guava, pan tostado, and papaya. To buy the special foods, we have to go to another town. It's different from where we live. Almost all the signs are in Spanish. It's a little far, so the only times we go there are when we need to go to a store called La Sorpresa. Let's go pick up some supplies. Things for your tia and abuelo, Mom says as she drives to her favorite store. La Sorpresa means surprise in Spanish. It's sort of the perfect name for that store. Even though it's small, it's filled with so many shelves that every turn is like a surprise. The biggest surprises happen when we get to the produce area. I see many interesting vegetables and fruits. There are prickly pears, coconuts, yucca, and huge bananas called plantains that are not really bananas. I even see cactus. People eat this, I asked my mom, poking at one of the cactus leaves. See, it's nopales. You like it. I gulp. This is nopales? I mean, I've been eating cactus. I don't understand why I haven't noticed the spiny needles going down my throat. She laughs, knowing what I'm thinking. You take off the needles before you cook it, that's why. Phew. Nick grabs a piece of wrapped golden cake that looks like pound cake, except it has sesame seeds. Wait, this is a quesadilla, Mom? Oh, that's delicious. Grab some. They eat that in El Salvador. Your grandmother makes it sometimes. My mom, my abuela, loves to cook because abuela grew up in El Salvador. She makes all these different dishes from Central America, Cuba, and Spain. She even makes Italian because some members of her family were from Italy. Boy, I'm happy about that too. Mom knows how to make lots of those delicious dishes because of abuela. I thought quesadillas were with tortillas and cheese, says Nick. They are, but that's a Mexican quesadilla. This is an Salvadoran quesadilla. I stay quiet as I start to think about all the countries that speak Spanish. There are so many, and all of them different in their own ways. They have different foods and even different ways of speaking Spanish. I barely know anything about them, especially Mexico, where I'm from. Then I realized that as much as I think I fit in better in Mexico than in the United States, I really wouldn't. I know only a handful of things about Mexico from my family, definitely not enough to make me feel like I fit in. The truth is, we don't go to Mexico City too often because it's very expensive to get there. I do know that Mexico City used to be the world's largest city. When I close my eyes and picture it in my head, it makes Chicago seem small. Mom used to say that when Nick first got to Chicago, he would say everything was flat and empty. He later changed his mind after we drove through Iowa. Mom, tell me about Mexico City again, I asked, wanting to picture where we came from. Mexico City is in a valley surrounded by two volcanoes. One is called Popocatépetl, and the other is Iztacatl. According to the Aztecs, Iztacatl is a princess, and Popocatépetl is the warrior who protects her. She told me about the volcanoes a bunch of times, but I still love hearing about them. It makes me feel like I come from a place that's special, and that I'm connected to the place through her. Mom continues telling us about her home as we stroll through the aisles of the grocery store. I see other families and smile at them. They smile back. I wish I felt more comfortable speaking with them. Still, hearing so much Spanish feels nice to my ears. It's like a warm blanket. Plus, there are so many fun words that sound better in Spanish than in English, like cafe instead of coffee, or buenísimo instead of really good. Although I would never use both words in the same sentence, cafe is not buenísimo, it's gross. Nick pushes the cart while Mom grabs glass jars of pimentos off the shelves. If they weren't too hard to open, I'd eat them right away. I love olives as much as I love albadingas. I'm not sure how to say that. Next, Mom searches for the guava and the cheese. Then she checks things off the list and scans down, pausing after a second. Your abuelo likes matrimonos while we play cards. Mom's face lights up as she says abuelo. Mom is very close to her dad. When my parents divorced, he stayed with us for a month. He even walked me to school every day. He's the only person I try to speak Spanish with other than Mom. That's because he lets me talk really, really slowly and takes the time to listen to me. He's so nice that I don't even mind when he laughs at me for saying the words wrong or not rolling my R's. Mom reviews her list last time. We almost forgot the frijoles, she says, pushing the cart back toward the aisle with the canned beans. As Mom searches for the frijoles, I see a girl my age talking to her abuelo in Spanish. For a moment, I feel a little jealous. My jealousy is quickly replaced with a sinking feeling in my stomach. I realize that my relatives are going to be here tomorrow. I cross my fingers and hope that I'll wake up knowing more Spanish.